Hey, I'm Steve Arendt, and this is the Better Lives, Better Business podcast, where we do the deep work and the hard work together. The hard work of building better businesses that foster better lives, and the deep work of discovering the values that our business is meant to serve. Let's dig in. Hey, Steve Arendt here. I am very excited that you have decided to join us again in our next episode. Today we're going to explore what it means to have a life goal and live a life with purpose and how that fits with owning a small to medium-sized business. You see, my mission is to make sure that small to medium-sized business owners run a business that serves their life goals and their life purpose. A number of years ago, I read a parable and it stuck with me. And it's come to mean quite a different thing over the years as I continue to reflect over this parable periodically. I'm going to take a moment to read this parable, so sit back and listen, and hopefully it'll teach us both something. There was once a businessman who was sitting by the beach in a small Brazilian village. As he sat, he saw a Brazilian fisherman rowing a small boat towards the shore, having caught quite a few big fish. The businessman was impressed and asked the fisherman, "How long does it take you to catch so many fish?" The fisherman replied, "Oh, just a short while." "Then why don't you have to stay a little longer at sea and catch even more?" The businessman was astonished. "This is enough to feed my whole family," the fisherman said. The businessman then asked, "What do you do for the rest of the day?" The fisherman replied, "Well, I usually wake up early in the morning, go out to sea, catch a few fish, then go back and play with my kids. In the afternoon, I take a nap with my wife, and when the evening comes, I join my buddies in the village for a drink. We play the guitar, sing and dance throughout the night." The businessman offered a suggestion to the fisherman. "I am a PhD in business management. I could help you become a more successful person. From now on, you should spend more time at sea and try to catch as many fish as possible. When you've saved enough money, you could buy a bigger boat and catch even more fish. Soon you will be able to afford to buy more boats, set up your own company, your own production plant for canning foods, and distribution network. By then, you will have moved out of this village and to San Pablo, where you can set up headquarters to manage your other branches." The fisherman continues, "And after that?" The businessman laughed heartily. "After that, you can live like a king in your own house. And when the time is right, you can go public to float your shares to the stock exchange, and you will be rich." The fisherman asked, "And after that?" The businessman says, "After that, you can finally retire. You can move to a house by the fishing village, wake up as early in the morning, catch a few fish, then return home to play with the kids. Have a nice afternoon nap with your wife, and when the evening comes, you can join your buddies for a drink, play the guitar, sing and dance throughout the night." The fisherman was puzzled. "Isn't that what I'm doing now?" Wow, that has always struck me every time I read it. How often as small to medium-sized business owners do we get stuck in the hamster wheel of running our business? Some days we wake up, many days on my end, wanting to get bigger and bigger and bigger. I spend every waking moment on that hamster wheel, just focused on getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Many people tell me I've got to scale. This parable reminds us that the fisherman may have the better answer. The fisherman wakes up every day and understands exactly what his life purpose is and his life goal is. That is to spend a little bit of time working, spend some time with his children, spend some time with his wife, and spend time with his friends. He wakes up every morning and has built a systematic approach to making that happen, day in and day out. As business people, sometimes our business can overwhelm us and we lose sight of that. What if we could live a life to where we woke up every morning and we reminded ourselves what our personal goals were and what our personal purpose, life purpose is all about? What if then we could move into our day, do some work, and then spend the rest of the day living out that purpose and those goals? I think it's possible. I think the fisherman's onto something. But I also think that we got to step back. And in this parable, we don't necessarily villainize the business person. It's real easy to say the fisherman's got all the answers and the businessman was going on down the wrong path. But the businessman has something to teach us too. We can become better business people in our businesses. For instance, what if the fisherman did work with the business person and figured out how he could go out in his boat and in the same amount of time catch a few more fish, maybe fish to last him 2 or 3 days instead of 1 day, because of better processes or better efficiencies or better methods of doing things. That way he could only go out, we have to work 1 day, and the second and third day he could totally spend a lot more time with his children, his wife, and his friends by just stepping back from what he was doing, working with that business person to become much more efficient. That seems to me to be an intelligent way to do it. It seems to me that we could take the advice from the business people around us, those around us in our own small business, to learn how to become more efficient and not scale our businesses at all, but allow it to be more profitable for us so that we can chase our own life goals and our own life purposes. Or sometimes scaling is appealing to some of us, and getting bigger would be a good thing. So understanding how to become that better business person, to become more efficient, to become more profitable will be a good thing. But it's also very important to understand if we decide to scale and we want to have purpose in our life and we want to have life goals, that we have to live a much more intentional life. Wake up every day, remind ourselves what that purpose is, and reflect on those things that are getting in the way of that life and that life purpose. Because as scaling, it's going to require that we are intense, that we live life not only intensely, but intentionally. So every moment counts. In that reflection, we're going to understand what are the things in my day that are going to get in the way of my life purpose and my goal in scaling this business. I'm not going to do those things. I'm going to do only those things that are going to enhance my life goal, my life purpose, and growing this business. All three of those things are going to work together as I scale. If you decide to scale and live out your life goal and your life purposes, what ends up happening is you're going to be walking the knife's edge. That process of scaling is always going to be calling you to spend more and more time with your business, time away from your life goals, time away from your purpose. So living life with intention as you scale is going to be very important. There is no wrong answer here. Staying very small and very focused on your life goals is simple. It's the easiest way to go, using that tool called a business to make that happen. If you want to lean to a little bit more, become a better business person, learn about efficiencies, learn about profitability, learn about your finances, learn about your employees, so you can take that same small business and make it serve you even a little bit better. Make it a better tool in your toolbox to serve those life goals and those life purposes. If you decide to scale, be ready. It's possible. A few of my friends have done it and continue to do it. But just be alert and be aware that there's a new challenge when you decide to scale and intentionally live a life with purpose and attain your life goals. This is Steve Arendt here. Thanks for being with me. I would really appreciate it if you hit the subscribe button at the bottom. It helps us spread the word. It helps us gain followers and continue to walk with others as we have better lives and better businesses. Steve Arendt here. Have a great day.